Good morning. Welcome back to the next of many videos. Where we're up to is you can now turn your piece configuration into a string. So let's go jump to that. We now have these two functions. I guess it's not a string technically; it's a array of bytes, but it's an array of bytes of ASCII encoded data that can be displayed as a string. The intention being that when you're running the game, which we'll just set up quickly, when you're running the game, you come in here, you edit this, you come back. I should be able to show down here the string that your new setup corresponds to and have a button that copies it to clipboard and a button that imports from your clipboard. Yeah, that's what we're working on today. I want to add a text area down here that shows the string for your current game config, and then try and work out how to add those two buttons. Let's see how we go. So I think we might finally have a bit of main menu state. Interesting. I thought I had a menu entity. Maybe I don't. Let's go one higher. Go back to game. Right. So the way that we're structured with game, it has screen, it has state. We currently don't have a menu state. I guess it was just empty. So we got rid of it. You can see here, when we initialize, we set screen to main menu, and its state is just empty. Cool. Let us have a look. What have I done with these then? Are these in their own files now? State.odin has global state, edit state, initial edit state, game state, initial game state. A load of helpers. I think means we can add a main menu state. Does it even need a main menu state? So global state already has your piece config in it. So actually the main menu can already grab that. Oh. Is it better for performance to just do it on loading the main menu? I think it probably is. Otherwise, what we're going to have to do is we have to call that chunk of maths every frame, really. Which is probably doable and probably doesn't affect anything, but it is a waste of resource. When we can just say, stick it in here. What are we doing? Sipping my drink. All right, so main menu state. And we're going to have an initial. It's going to have to be a proc game. Returning main menu state. And this is going to need, I don't know, config string. What type does import, export, output? 7 times max pieces. Where do we get 7 from? You need 7 digits or 7 characters to represent the maximum possible U32 value in, what's it? I remember. Where you stay is all of this. Just thinking. I think our current encoding only uses 31 bits, which means we only need to be able to represent up to half the maximum size of the thing. Which means we might actually be able to get away with 6, but we'll worry about that later. It does make me think it's worth putting a constant here to say config string length. There's a bunch of these, isn't there? In fact, instead of doing it like that, what we'll do is we'll use... Oh, what's the right way to do it? Is it that? No, it's that. No, it's that. There we go, query replace. Find me every 7, and maybe replace it with config string length. That one, I can't remember how you do this. Space to replace, delete to skip. So do replace, do. String to encoded piece, do. Piece of string, do. And then this one, skip. Cool. And that should have hopefully not broken anything. So if I come in here and say Odin test main, I need to be in /Flectris. Cool, not broken anything. What are we doing? Right, so we've got that. We can now use that in here. Config. No. I'll save it. I did. Just wouldn't let me autocomplete it. Strange. All right. So let's have the main menu state. Go and grab that. Let's have initial menu state. Set it. To what? What are these? Code piece config to string. Which will take in game global piece buffer. Cool. Cool. And then in here, when we go to main menu, state should be initial main menu state. Annoying. Can I say in here initial pieces? Probably max pieces. Piece. You just take initial pieces. So I guess this isn't going to be the initial value, right? This is a way to get what it is from what the pieces are. We come back to here. Like to say in here, initial pieces. Which is max pieces. Lord. Pieces of piece. Piece 1, piece 2, 3, piece 4, piece 5, piece 6. I'd like to grab. Nope, not all of that. Am I bad at this? I thought that should go to there. Yep, and that should go back to there. Okay. Grab you. Delete that. It has to be wrapped because it needs that thing to say piece buffer is this. Got you. Count in brackets. Looks like this. Stick initial pieces in there. Stick initial pieces in there. Not happy. Why not happy? Can I assign this value to the union? Because up here, we have not said menu state. Problem solved. Let's see. Does it run? It runs. We're there. Cool. How else do you get there? I guess from the edit screen. All right. You have the edit screen, populates entities, which includes a button that takes you back. Ready? There's the edit cancel, edit exit. On exit, sets game.screen to main menu. Now I need to set game.state is equal to edit menu. Sorry, main menu state given game.global.piecebuffer. So I should put that out reusing it. So piece. Go in here, say piece buffer. All of that dot. And this can just use it directly. That feels a little nicer, in my opinion. And that regenerates us the value. Let's just check. We go to edit. We update this. We exit. And nothing blew up. A positive sign. Right. Let us add. Probably somewhere we'll have main menu generate entities. We might have called it menu generate entities though. Oh, there we go. Populate entities even. And we want to add a new probably button and text area. How smart is our layout on this screen currently? Not very. Okay, so it repositions itself, but then these things are very like fixed sized. So this is not a finalized screen. It's going to need some work anyway. I think what we do is we say give it some give it some some padding off the bottom of the screen, and we just put a big wide string that fills the bottom of the screen up. I might stick it up here. Right, so we've got our buttons. Then we've got our piece config string. We'll stir for the rest of them, so we're going to keep doing it like that. Piece config string pos is equal to pos. And we're just going to say x is something small, y also something small, piece config string dim. Will be a width of surface dim dot width minus like 40 and height 20, let's say. Do I? Nah, because this takes a slice of U8, so I can just do it directly off game. Interesting. Does this already grab the main menu state? It doesn't, but we can do that at the start. Let's go ahead and say state is equal to game state interpreted as main menu state. All right, and then let's go ahead and say entity push. It's not a button, is it? Do we have anything that's just like text? Entity game panel, grid, invisible click handler, piece button, text button. Oh, do I know where I just draw text yet? I guess other places that are just drawing text, it's just decoration, right? But it doesn't need any data pass through to it, whereas this needs data pass through to it, so our drawable can't just hard code it, right? So, for example, there is text drawn in the game panel to say score. Got it wrong? Where is score? Definitely in there somewhere. I don't know why I decided to put my windows in like that really tiny bottom bit. I don't like it. Can we go find score caps? Am I crazy? Game config string. Ah. Okay. I'm already doing that. Because this is needing something off the state, right? Because if I do something like this, let's go fill thing. It went up. The way that it knows that is it is reading it off the game state. How are we doing that then? Is there's a game panel entity that has score on it? Yes. In fact, game panel entity has all of that information in it. Okay, cool. I think we just do what I was doing. Shall we just make a... Oh, what am I going to call it? Currently, it's just going to be the thing. I'm going to want 2 buttons for as well, though, is the thing. I think it is worth us just having like a plain text entity. Even if we're not going to use it much in the final version of things, I think it'll be a useful... while work's kind of in progress, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and add entity, just text, I guess. .odin. Might go grab entity text button. It's going to look very similar. Oh, I didn't realise that we had hovered on that already. Cool. Go ahead and make a text entity. It'll take a pause, it'll take a dim. It'll take a stir, slice of U8, and that is all. It's a nice simple one. Turn us the entity. Entity type. Yeah. So let's go ahead and add a text entity. A text entity data. My goodness, what you doing, Matt? Text entity data will be a struct that has that in it. Text entity will return. Pause is pause, dim is dim. Clickable is false. Type is text. On click is nil. Data is text entity data with the string. Cool. Cool. Let's get back to where I stuck my to-do. This can now entity push our text entity. Okay. There we go. And it can take, what do I call it? Config, stir, no. There we go. Piece, config, string, pause, piece, config, string dim. It can take state dot thing, take the entire slice. That should be it. Compile you and see what happens. Not taught how to draw yet. That was silly. Case dot text. Add a draw text from an entity. Let's again jump to copy this because it's going to be really similar. Text. Draw text from an entity. Comes in here, it says, get me my text. Color. I'm going to get rid of. Where is it used? We have a light grey. No, do we have a dark grey? We do have a dark grey. Do I have a normal grey? Yes. So I'll make it grey with all of this guff. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not going to change this, but these objects might overlap, which will be interesting. So you have drawstring, data.stir, entity pause, entity dim, UI text. Crashed. Ooh. Why crashed? What does that mean? It built fine, did it? What does our run sh do? I'm not in the right place again. Let's just tmux new. We can get back into it. Let's cat run sh. Makes a build directory. It does glslc a couple times. It does an Odin build main with debug info. Then it runs. I should be able to go into build and just gdb main.bin. Is it BT to get the backtrace? Default assertion, contextless failure. Where in core Odin 768, in core Odin 739, core built in. Create image from file. I think I'm trying to draw lowercase. That'll be it, won't it? How do I continue? Yeah, let it die. Quit GDB, close that. Okay, that's a point. The fix to that, I think, probably to actually have import export output capitals. It is outputting capitals. Well, that's much more interesting. I'm not sure what we do with that then. Not that we're doing something silly in here, can I say? Format, print line. Import. It's all zeros. Why is it all zeros? The draw text getting called like it should be back in draw entity. Draw entity gets called in draw entities, which get called from main, is fine. It's gonna be something daft like the first time we come through here. No, because game init game should set that up, right? Game init game should. Making main menu state. Format print line. Or format. Interesting. That is setting values. Just because I think it's useful to see both. There's ASCII value. There it is as a string. Okay. Then by the time we're getting into here, my format print line, this is in draw text. We're getting, sorry, take it down there. Data stir. String. Stringify it as well. Draw text gets called, and yeah, it's not a proper string. Okay. So what's going wrong? It's probably got to be where we set up our entity. Text entity called in here. Can I format print line? So this is inside of populate entities. State piece config string. Okay. State exists here. It's referring to the state that is local to this scope. And actually, we want this to be a pointer to game. So the state is a pointer to game, so that it all lives outside of this function. Which will blow up in here. Go ahead and make you a pointer to game. My original reason for not doing this is that not that one. I quite liked the there's loads of these. Bugger. I liked the feeling that everything that was a pointer to game was going to be actually mutating game, whereas like now that's not the case. Right now everyone's reading it, but I guess if we need the value to be stable, I don't think we can do much. There we go. Hey, there's our string. We drag it bigger, see it stays kind of big. We drag it tiny, it's going to look slightly ridiculous, but it's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Excellent. 7 characters per piece, 8 pieces. And if I come in here, so notice these are all zeros at the minute. I come in here and we draw some stuff. It gets updated. I come in here and I knock some stuff out. Did it get updated? I don't think it did. Still has a thingy. Hang on. Stick it in 0, 0. And now it's all zeros. Beautiful. Do the same here. Ah, that's fun. So our rotation center sets some very significant bits because it's some of the earliest stuff that's encoded. Cool. Look at these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Can I make them all have the biggest possible rotation center? In fact, we'll just make this the max possible value. It still doesn't touch that one there. So actually, I think we probably could get away with this being 6 instead of 7 there. Okay. Which drops 8 characters. I think the string's long enough that it's not a huge deal, but it'd be nice. But first, let's go get all those print lines. So we don't want that one. Don't want that one. Do want that one. Can I go back? Save. All my print line we don't want. That one we do 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 want. White print line. Swap chain out of date. Let's get rid of that. Huh. I guess I need that for debugging at some point. We'll leave it. We hate to assume. Right. That's got the lot. Let's commit that as a starting point. Say show piece config string on menu. Right. How hard would it be to just reduce that number? And have a look. Let's see. Make that 6. Do you compile? Cool. Do our test still pass? How do I exit? There we go. Odin test main. Test still pass. Experimented. Something we should do though is make that max value again. So and it fits. We do the same now. Yeah. We should see the same series of 7 characters down here. J7NYIP. Cool. Works. So that's nice. Uses 48 characters instead of 56. Import export buttons. How do you GLFW clipboard? It looked really easy when we looked it up here. You call set clipboard string and get clipboard string. Returns the contents of the thing if it contains or is convertible to a UTF-8 encoded string. Contents of the clipboard, yada yada yada. Set clipboard is probably the easier of the two, right? String is copied before returning, so you don't have to retain it afterwards. Cool, so we're not tied to it in any like life cycle-y way. Okay, what do we want to do? I make an import and an export button. If we go back in entity. No, was it in game? Yes. Get our piece config string. I think what we do, we use the same button dim. Let's start with buttons that just have an on-click, basically. Right, I'm doing a bad job of explaining some typing. Okay. I'm going to start with a pair of buttons that just print on click, and then we can hook them up to GLFW to handle clipboard. So we have an import, we have an export. We put them next to each other. Is that too annoying? Exit button, pause, all of this guff. X. Import button pause will be equal to pause edit button X equals edit button pause dot X minus button dim width over 2 minus like 10. Shuff it over a little bit further. Y will be edit button pause dot Y minus 4.5 times button dim H. Export button pause will be pause X is equal to edit pause dot X minus, plus button dim width over 2 plus 10. Y is going to be edit button pause Y minus 4.5 times button dim H. So stick them all together in there. And we're pushing all our entities. Let's go ahead and say entity push a text button entity at I don't know what it's called. Import stir. button dim. This little dance to make import stir into a slice of U8 is hovered. Import button pause button dim. And we'll have an import on click. Go ahead and quickly push. Other one as well, we're going to have a text button. Entity with an export button pause, a button dim, transmute, a slice of U8 for export stir is hovered for the export button pause and button dim, and an export on click. And let's jump to where you're defined. What are we going to say? Import on click, pointer to game, export on click, take pointer to game, format, print line, export, run it. Nothing. That's not good. Entity push. Confusing. Hit button pause. Both got button dim. Both got strings. This is the main menu. And yet, I'm giving it stupid values here. Import button pause. Button dim should give it a width of 200. What could be going wrong? Okay, what if take that one out? Oops. So instead, import button. Does that blow up? Yes. Then import button pause. Pause. Let me just stick it at 0, 0. Okay. Something about our pause doesn't make sense. What about the pause doesn't make sense? Edit button pause.x. It's this bit. Everyone's doing their spacing from start button, and we've done it off the other one. There we go. Import, export, import, export. Cool. Doesn't fit on small screens. We don't care yet. Right. Managed to cock that up, so let's do a checkpoint. Uh, work in progress. Import export buttons. Get ourselves back to here. Reformat it as well. Okay. To be honest, we're just putting it off. How do we do our thing? Import on click is nya. Alright, so instead of doing this, we're already getting GLFW. That's nice to know. This is the harder of the two, so let's do it second. Export on click. I should be able to just say GLFW. Set clipboard string. Global context window. I think is a window handle from GLFW. And what am I doing? A string, but it must be a C string. How do I do this? String game dot state dot as a edit. No, not as edit, as main menu state dot not complete. Not class as string from main menu state. No, I know that. All right, hang on. Can we say up here stir? So it's game dot state dot the pointer to main menu state. All right, so that seems to have worked. All right, so you're currently a main menu state. Why can't I? Piece config string. And we make you a string. Cannot slice array because the value is not addressable. I make you a pointer. No. I make you address of. No. Game dot state. Not a variant of that union. Christ, that was a bit of a rigmarole, wasn't it? Right, so now we've got an Odin string and we need a C string. Odin strings package. How do I get a C string? Clone from, clone to C string. Takes a builder. I don't want a builder. Clone to string takes a string. Clone to string and appends a null byte. Yeah, that's what I think we want. And again, we don't do this super often, so I think it's fine that this is not the fastest thing in the world. Allocator default is context.allocator. So I guess we just have to do a free straight afterwards as well. Core strings. Yes. And C-stir can be strings. Clone C-string of that thing. Make you a C-stir, and we will say here defer. Would it be delete C-stir? Ooh. We come over here. Hey, beautiful. And then we go edit, and we make a load of changes, and we make some changes. And we'll make U into a 0, so it's easy to see. Export. And it's different. That was easy. Hey. Cool. Import on click. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to read in the string. And then we're going to have to check if it's valid. Right? Which basically just means, oh, our import export stuff's going to need some more like robust error handling, isn't it? Because not all. Well, the first thing I was going to say is we need to just check it's valid, which means checking that it is all capital letters and numbers. But not all combinations of capital letters and numbers will be a valid string to import. So for now, we're just going to have the app blow up if you do the wrong thing. We're going to have a look at what get clipboard string from our global context window actually gives us. It gives us a string directly. Quite nice. Can we just go ahead and say do this little transmute. Slice U8 of stir. All of our stuff takes bytes. Hum. Well, I guess just writing that onto the main menu state's not hard. And that'll make it display it. Right? We go ahead and say assert len is equal to, oh my god, what was it? Back in import export config string length times max pieces. Otherwise, it's not going to be a valid thing. And like I say, making that not just kill the program is a to-do later. How do I say copy Odin copy slice to buffer? Package bytes. What are you? A buffer. Variable sized buffer of bytes with an IO stream interface. Hmm. Interesting. There's so much stuff in the Odin library that I should totally go and read. Utility for these things, yada yada. Okay, I'm just going to do it manually. So turn into bytes. We're going to have a buffer, which will be config string length times max pieces U8 for B in bytes. Buffer at index equals B. Sure, there's a quicker way to do that, but we're not doing it right now. We get the string off the clipboard. We assert it's the right length. Get the bytes. We get our buffer. Write it in. And then we'll say game.state read as main menu state. I'll do it. State will be equal to ampersand game dot state dot main menu state dot that equals that. You're a pointer, so it'll update the actual value. Right. To do, update the global piece buffer. This should at the very least let us check. All right, let me go grab this off the clipboard. Make sure we don't grab more characters than we mean. Come in here, we go import, and it updated it. We come back, we get this 9Z yada yada yada. And we go import, and it updated it. So we can pull in the string. Got no error handling yet. Assuming that that string is good. All right, so we're in here. Handle bad imports gracefully. Because currently it won't at all. But so import and click. Do all of this. We would like to come in here and say pieces. Decode string to piece config. Just take buff. We should then be able to say game.global.piece buffer is equal to pieces. If we do that, we've got import. All right. Click import. Crash. Nice. Runtime assertion, the length of string. Okay. Let me. Yeah, because there's probably some nonsense in here now, though, right? All right, let's set that back up. We would like to say here, we'll export. We'll come into edit and we will mess with it. And just to make it easy to see, we'll set the first one to be zeros. We'll import, go back into edit, and it's back. Hey! All right, let's, I don't know, spell my name. M A T T. All right, we export that. And this is the beauty of it. So that's exported. We can now close the program, but we've got that string still. Do I not? Oh, I might have fucked it. All right, let's try that again. Edit. We are going to make M. We're going to make a A. We're going to make a T and a T, and we'll bin these. We export that. Go and check we've got that on our... What's it? We do. I can leave the game. I can email that to someone. Post it to them in the mail. Then in here I can import it again. And it can break. Why did you break? Copied. There we go. And he comes back. Right. Oh my god. Invalid type assertion. Interesting. Right. We've sort of kind of got it working. We've also broke a load of stuff. So that's fun. I think I might know what's done that. Okay, on. So first thing to say in here is work in progress, import, export basic functionality, but no error handling. We've just got the sort of good path through everything. That was only on cancel that blew up, right? So if I come into edit and I exit, it's fine. If I come into here and I cancel, it's not fine. Let's go find that cancel string. I think it's probably the easiest way to get to it. Right. Let's go find cancel stir. It's down there. Edit cancel on click is setting that. It's not setting the state. Main menu state. It's slightly upsetting that you have to do this because it doesn't actually change anything, but I also don't want it to blow up on me. I think it's blowing up because yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be a main menu state where it's currently in edit state. So yeah, we do need to do this. We go get the main menu state. I'm going to do the same. Pull piece buffer here. Game state. No, I don't need that. I need global. Game global piece buffer. So edit, you can exit, edit, you can cancel. Perfect. Alrighty then. Fix bug. And I think that's as much time as I have this morning. That feels very productive. I think this is our next to do. Go check what we've got in the README. Button to export string. I don't think we're going to bother with a text area input. I don't imagine anyone ever sitting manually typing this in. We've got the button to export string. That just works now. Paste from clipboard does also work, but I need to say in here, validate import string characters no op on bad inputs. So what I'm thinking there is if you give me something that has bad characters in it or it's the wrong length, the button should just do nothing. And we want to add error handling to our decode from string function. So it can also no op on tricky invalid cases. We're doing. It might be that what we say is if you give us a string, we might do like trimming. Trim white space. From start and end to make clumsily copy pasting it easier. That doesn't sound hard to do. Validate import string length and characters, no op on bad inputs, and add error handling to our decode from string function so we can also no op on tricky invalid cases. Because you could give us a valid set of characters and it's the right length and it's the right subset of all characters, but it doesn't actually correspond to a playable piece config. Cool. And that all currently will just assert and blow up on you. But good progress. The functionality is coming along. Now it's just removing paper cuts. Excellent. That is us for the day. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.